salute the jazz band from Central High School here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Aren't they terrific? And so are our championship bowlers in our first match here on the synthetic lanes, specially installed in the center of the Civic Center in Erie. Dave Arnold, getting off to a shaky start, is trailing by 61 pins. However, he is a double working. He's bowling Brad Snell. Okay, to Maria Sansone. Here she is.
How do you feel bowling in a Civic Center surrounding?
I think this is going to be great. It's great to have a crowd like this cheering and making a lot of noise. I hope I can go out there and throw a lot of strikes for them.
What do you think it will take to win the Split Fire Open?
Take a lot of strikes. The lanes are pretty nice. As you can see, Brad's throwing a lot of strikes. So I'm going to go out there and throw a lot of games, maybe a 300.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
Okay. We have a 6-10 on the left lane for Dave Arnold. And for those of you that didn't meet Maria Sansone at the beginning, she's a veteran commentator of Wide World of Sports for Kids, Little League World Series, and other shows, and she's a native of Erie and a great lady to know. 12 years old.
Brad Snell, during commercial, put a piece of tape in his bowling ball. After 6 frames, he dropped the ball a little bit in the 7th, put a piece of white tape in the back of the thumb hole. He's ready to go right now. 53-pin lead with a couple marks. He secures the match.
Remember, he opened with 6 in a row, marked to the spare, and now he has left a 10-pin on the right lane.
Talked about perception and reality on the lanes. These lanes have a pin deck that's set 180 thousandths upgrade, Chris. When it leaves the regular head pin area, which is 60 feet from the foul line, pins upslope very slightly, and that increases the carry of the pins. This is the first solid tap we've had all day.
Okay, Brad Snell. The rest tonight on ABC, Judith Lights stars with Michael Anquion in the Saturday night movie In Defense of a Married Man, followed by an all-new commish. That's tonight, starting at 8, 7 Central Time, here on ABC.
And that 180 thousandths tolerance I was talking about is the legal limit sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Near the end of this game, and Walter Ray Williams, whom Maria interviewed a moment ago, will be the opponent. Dave Arnold already has 5th place secured. He cannot win the match, but he can still bowl 215.
A late drop down 60 feet. The fans here are eating it up.
Well, he gets a really good break as the head pin comes around and knocks out the 10. Dave could end up with a respectable 215. Watch what happens here. Head pin to the left sideboard, kicks back over, rolls around 3-pound, 6-ounce pins. Once they get 9 degree off axis, they will fall, and it happened there.
Can't be, but it is an 8.
Dave Arnold has such a wonderful ability, and I think if he watches some of his championship round performances, he can step to that final level. He needs to accelerate his arm through the shot a little bit more, like we see this next guy, Walter Ray Williams, do under pressure.
The championship pair and the practice pair, specially installed here in the Civic Center, they're so shiny bright, though. Couldn't we just move them back to Indiana or St. Louis? And they're beautiful.
You bet. Looks like a piano top out there.
Doesn't
I'd be proud to have that in my living room.
And we're proud of Dave Arnold, father of two, and his wife Carolyn. Today it was only a 195 and not enough to beat Brad Snell.
Snell coming up in the 10th frame has secured the match. Strikes out. He'll have 267 in the opening tilt.
10 still wobbling but standing. But that is the winner, Brad Snell, and he's going to meet Walter Ray Williams as this ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC station. There you see the story of our first match. 7 strikes, 235 for Brad Snell against Dave Arnold. Snell goes now against the Player of the Year, incredible, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Speaking of incredible, ladies and gentlemen, a colleague of more than 25 years, Murray Schwartz, passed away this week, succumbed to the dreaded disease cancer. We send our sympathy to his wonderful family and his friends. His smile we're going to miss, and his goodness. We're sorry. Murray, we love you.
Brad Snell enters his second game. The margin for error is going to become less. He's got the big horses in front of him. Walter Ray Williams Jr. is his opponent, the defending champion.
All right. That would have been a strike Murray Schwartz would have loved, and he saw so many of them with us right here on the tour. Now, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the star.
That one a little. You bet, Chris. As you see his style, he caught a little extra on this shot. As you see him wrap his arm swing slightly behind his back, and he realigns it right in here. You saw that little wrap around. Now watch the loft. Chris, you picked it right up. He snapped it a little extra, the grimace in the face, and he sent it wide. That's that last-minute instinct that he has going right now, which makes him the #1 in the world today.
Up high and leaving the 6-10 on the left lane of this championship pair.
You see the ball drifting high. He expected this ball to set up in the pocket. He told us before we went on the air that the left lane, which is 3 in this auditorium, hooks a little bit more. I think he was surprised by that shot. He'll have to make a little adjustment.
Bass player of the Central High School Jazz Band are having a lot of fun after the shots here. They're up in the balcony. You hear them during our commercial, as we go into our commercial breaks. Now Brad Snell, second frame.
A little tug on that one for Brad. The first match he opened with 6 strikes in a row. This match he started off with a strike, and he leaves himself a tough spare. He needs to get to the left of the 2-pin, let the ball deflect into the 4-7, take it out like this. A little tougher for a left-hander than it is a right-hander.
Yes, tomorrow here on ABC it begins with exciting National Hockey League action. Live coverage of these regional matchups start at 1 p.m., 12 noon Central and Pacific. Then, defending champion Dave Johnson, along with an elite field of the world's best athletes, battle for the crown in the Jeep Superstars. All tomorrow, ABC Sports. You just joined us. Brad Snell defeated Dave Arnold in the first match, 235 to 195, earning the right to meet the #3 seed, 34-year-old Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, Walter showing a little bit of pressure there, Chris. He just kind of chunked that shot. Watch this side from the style. Walter just kind of lets his shoulders drop too far forward and just chunks the ball out there with not his usual lift. It sails by the head pin. He avoids the 2-4-5-8 and leaves the simple 2-pin.
He won the Showboat in Las Vegas this year. Last year he won 7 titles. Player of the Year honors his second. He was 4th with Johnny Petraglia, to Johnny Petraglia in the PBA National Championship in Toledo.
Walter, 15 wins, 8 losses in the championship round with a .239 average in 1993.
And they dance off the synthetic deck. We're in the lake city of Erie. There's a revitalization going on in the downtown area here with the Discovery Square project. $2 million of state funding will go to the Erie Art Museum, Children's Museum, and the Erie County Historical Society. Here's one of the 4 blocks being redeveloped. Yes, back to the Detroit area next week. And right there's that Central High School Jazz Band. Mr. Lute is the director. These kids are wonderful, and the ambiance here is magnificent. I wish we could bottle it and take it with us. Erie Civic Center. Deadeye's #1 fan. Okay, I believe you. He's resting now while Brad Snell, his opponent, is up and has the strike working. He can take a 9-pin lead. The story, Nelson.
Chris, that was his best shot of the match, even of the day right there. He just threw a double right in there, smacked it. He's put it on Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a double here, opens an 11-pin lead. And there's a fundamental that Brad Snell does so well in the sport of bowling. It's simply this: the lower you get with your shoulders and your back over your knees, the less you have time to squeeze the bowling ball.
That was pretty chintzy of me to cheat him 2 pins, wasn't it? Deadeye is up with a strike working, shooting in the 5th frame. Okay, here comes again our interviewer, Maria Sansone.
What's it like being the father on a PBA tour?
Well, there's there's good and bad. You have to leave your wife and kids and come out here and bowl. But they're home waiting for me. I'm going to be flying home tonight, and it's always nice when you get to go home and see them.
Will the large crowd affect your game today?
I don't think so. I think it's going to pump me up. These guys are really into it, and I love to entertain.
Thanks a lot.
Someday in her field, she's going to be as great as this man in bowling.
Walter's got some terrific breaks here on the left-hand lane. In the 4th frame, he just nicked the head pin for a wall shot strike. Here in the 6th frame, he goes high, he trips out the 4, 7, 10, and he likes it. "16-foot approaches here.
Okay, the battle is on. Brad Snell and Walter Ray Williams Jr.
One thing we have to watch for in this arena setting, these are new lanes just installed yesterday, and the oil or lane conditioner may move around a little bit, and you're seeing more balls drift high as the day goes on. It's very warm in here, so the players have to be conscious of that and maybe make slight adjustments with their feet or with the ball speed.
Yes, the setting is different. The last time we had the arena setting was 22 years ago at the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden, when Don Johnson won. And there's a fact: more than 110 million people bowl annually in more than 80 countries around the world. Yes, happy holidays, happy Easter, happy Passover. The bunnies are here too. 4,200 bowling fans watching the player of the year, Walter Ray Williams Jr., trailing by 21. He can cut it to 11. 3-bagger, shooting in the 7th.
I think Walter Ray is quite surprised that the ball didn't finish there. That's his patented shot, is when he tries to get up and wind up on it and make it snap back to overpower the pins. It doesn't come far enough back, and he leaves the 2-pin. He's now trailing by 22.
So he'll try to get back in that pocket on the left side. There you see the difference, and you see the sheets, score sheets. We mentioned 22 years ago at Felt Forum in an arena setting like this, and earlier than that in Mobile, Alabama.
Precision by Deadeye, his best shot of the day, and he needs to get some strikes to start squeezing Brad Snell. It now becomes match game competition. Snell with a 22-pin lead can extend to 32, 8th frame.
2-4-7 on the right lane for the man that won the first game, 235 to 195.
Snell reaches back for a little extra to try to answer Walter Ray, and he snaps it high, leaving the 2-4-7. The second time he's left that on this lane. Changes to a ball that slides a little bit more. He'll go cross lane, trying to deflect the 2 into the 4, into the 7.
Chink in the armor, 4-7, chopping the 2, Bo.
Chris, that opens it up for Walter Ray. No matter what happens now, Brad Snell cannot shut out Walter Ray. He not only loses count on the first ball in a double, but then when he plucks the 2 off the 4, he actually loses 2 more pins in count because he was working on the double. The best Snell can do is 243. Deadeye sitting on the bench can still get 248. 2 frames to go. It's up for grabs.
Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports presents the pairs competition from the Durasoft Colors World Challenge of Champions. Plus, yes, high-flying action from Slovenia, the World Ski Flying Championships. And then from Florida, the World High Diving Championships, all live. Next. Walter Ray doubling, leading by 5.
Well, it ain't pretty, but Walter's getting the job done. He's been all over the pocket except in the 8th frame. He's had nothing but good things happen for him, and now as he stands on the approach, he's in a position to get 2 strikes in 6 and lock up the match, and I think he's zeroed on this lane. He performed perfectly in the 8th.
Twice Player of the Year. 1986 again last year, 14 titles, 14 years a pro, 5 times World Horseshoe Pitching Champion.
Chris, I bowl with this man a lot, and he bowls for the fun of the action, the competition. Sure, he's making the big bucks. He probably made over $500,000 with a bowling ball last year, but he does it for the fun of the action, and this is the big shot. This is what he lives for, right here.
Further back that up, he'll go out and pitch in a World Horseshoe Championship for a few $100s. This man loves competition. Physics major at Cal Poly, Pomona. Incredible young man.
6 count on this ball. Walter Ray will shut out Brad Snell and set up a match in the semifinal between 2 of the greatest bowlers of this decade, Brian Voss and Walter Ray Williams Jr. Here we go.
This week, Choice Hotels Tip of the Week takes a look at a physical change in the sport, and it comes from John Handegard.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip, brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
With me is the most prolific champion on the PBA Seniors Tour, John Handegard. And John, you and I have bowled together for more than 3 decades, and what is the biggest physical change you've seen in the game over that period of time?
Well, years ago, we were taught, for example, to have the ball in the first step out in front, second step straight down. In the third step, it went back, and the fourth step was a slide. The modern player gets the ball into motion much earlier. If you notice in this sequence here, I get the ball moving a little earlier at this point, and when the second step hits the floor, the ball is already past the hip. That frees up the arm swing, lets your legs work nice, increases your ball speed, which gives you more impact at the pins.
Boy, you look just super there, John, and obviously you've made this change in your career, and all of you players can make that change, especially you seniors, to get more ball speed. And remember, winning never gets old.
Walter A. Williams Jr. shooting a big 248 with 9 strikes, defeating Snell, who shot a 211. And all the way, Walter A. Hello from Okinawa, Japan, a Japan Cup winner. That's right, and this young lady, Jill Bush, lived in Japan, speaks Japanese fluently, and it happens to be the promotion supervisor of Splitfire Spark Plugs, our sponsor. And now it's like Ali and Frazier, but first, what happened during the week?
Chris, we started a 160-man field, 221 average to make the top 24. A couple of interesting things happened this week. John Mazza, who finished 6th, had 3 re-racks in a game, and it cost him over 30 pins. He just missed the top 5 by just 7 pins, something he'll never do again. You see Justin Romack bowling very well again this winter. Hometown favorite Bob Horan Jr. in there. Also, another unusual happening. A young player, Tony Rosamilia, failed to weigh in after he qualified 2nd in the tournament. He was eliminated, did not receive any prize money. A great young man. He was replaced by Ken Moscato, who bowled 300 and finished 23rd. Chris, Eric Porco round out the top 24, and the big one coming next week.
Oh, yes, the United States Open in Troy, Michigan. That's the Detroit area. We look forward to that. Big purse of $250,000. Then 2 weeks from today, we go back to a country we dearly love, Canada. Markham, Ontario for the IOF Foresters Bowling for Miracles Open. Okay, now the handshake. It's like boxing arena days, Bo. Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran, Ali Frazier. Here are the 2 heavyweights that are going head-to-head.
And Brian Voss said to Walter Ray while they were warming up, he says, I hope I get to you. And Walter says, well, it won't be for the title because one of us has to win to go on. 2 of the best coming up.
And just coming off a big score of 248 with 9 strikes, this is the way Walter Ray begins. Now, you remember seeing this cover boy, Brian Voss, now bowling out of Atlanta, last week. He finished 4th in the Tums Classic in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. This is another champion 13 times. And the player of the year in 1988 leaves the dreaded 210.
All right, he's a little perturbed with himself, but this is a style you can live with. Brian Voss trying to be protective. He didn't want to go high. He watched the other players going high. Here's a low-maintenance swing, perfect game. I mean, just right at the line. And actually throws the ball very well. He just played too far in. He leaves himself a split.
Bounced it at the line, Bo, and there is an open frame for Brian Voss.
Voss a little tall with the ball, trying to throw a straight shot. Very little hook across to the 210. Miscalculates the amount of oil in the center of the lane and pulls it just left of the 2-pin. Doesn't quite get the 10. As you see, he qualified through 42 games, qualified in the number 2 position. He's opened the match with a split.
Look at that comeback. The technician goes into the PBA Hall of Fame April 18th. Brian Voss.
See the perspective of Walter Ray. He's going to be around the second arrow with his shot. He's going to try to roll right in the zone, almost straight up.
Body English didn't help. Leaving the 7-pin on the right lane.
You see Walter Ray just trying to panic a little bit on the right-hand lane. He's trying to overpower this lane. He's been highlight, doesn't get the kick with the head pin over in the left-hand corner. He'll get away with an easy spare. Chris, I had the luxury of going with these 2 young men back-to-back years on 20-city tours. I took Walter Ray on the same 20-city tour. They were just excellent showmen, and they bowled so well. Walter Ray averaged 228 plus for 20 cities. Brian Voss averaged 227 for the same 20 cities. 2 of the best.
Begging Walter Ray at the line for the 10 to topple.
Walter Ray Jr. using a reactive resin ball, and it's becoming very seriously sensitive to the dry part of the lane. The outside 12 boards for the right-handers are very dry, and his ball touches that zone and it's jumping.
Okay, we're in Erie for the Splitfire Spark Plug Open. This is a city that has produced athletes like this. Karen Kadavi, great figure skater. Fred Blitnikoff. Mark Stefanowski, the center for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCoy, Notre Dame All-American, played with Green Bay. That's right. This is Erie. With a double and has pulled within one pin.
Watch this shot Brian Voss throws here. Unbelievable. He just really rips him apart. Now let's see the angle that Voss is playing. He's going to be right around the second arrow. He's almost straight to the line. He has just about a perfect approach. He starts from the left side. He'll end up in this area. From the overhead, you'll see this, the inside-out swing right to the target. He could take the lead if he strikes on this ball.
Stage-like setting here in Erie, almost running it out. When visitors go to the Erie Art Museum, they've been delighted by a locally born artist named Lisa Lichtenfels. The Avalon Restaurant, permanent installation on display since 1984. Life at the Avalon, a now-defunct downtown diner, is depicted using 21 soft sculptor figures. Oh, how I miss the diners, Bo. There you see one of the giant projection screens. That's some of the 4,200 fans that are here, along with the giant score sheet to the right of the temporary lanes. And there you see Walter Ray Williams using all of the approach. And he needed to. Spare working, strike in the fourth.
Deadeye made a very cerebral move there. Instead of playing the big hook, trying to snap the ball back on the right-hand lane, lane forwarder, he moved a little farther inside towards the third arrow and lets the ball just glide in the higher oil concentration towards the center of the lane. If he can do the same thing on this lane, we will have a match.
And that's what we have.
And now he knows where to throw it. These are two of the best. The more powerful ball is rolled by the stronger of the two men, Brian Voss. He has the advantage in power. Walter Ray Williams Jr. just a slight edge in accuracy. Right now, Voss trails by one, can regain the lead, fifth frame.
Okay, Maria Sansone. She interviewed these two champions. Now she has another. Maria?
In some ways, it's coming into this tournament in first place a disadvantage because you don't have enough time on the as much time on the lanes as the other bowlers.
It could be, but I'm not going to look at it that way. I feel comfortable. This shot is similar to where it was at Eastway, so I'm just going to go in and bowl exactly like I did this week. And if I throw 12 good shots, I can win this tournament.
So that's what's going to take to win?
I think so, yes.
Okay, now back to you guys.
Dennis Horan. Brian Voss leading by one. Punch and counter punch, Nelson.
You're right, Chris. And once again, we're in a special arena setup. We bowled all the qualifying 42 games at Eastway Lanes, where we've had our fourth consecutive tournament in 4 years. And Walter Ray with the full grip spreads that index finger, and now he whips through the ball.
This is one of the most interesting matches, though, in 33 years that I've watched, really.
I agree, partner. The players are the best we have in the sport of bowling. They both know how to win. Neither one of them knows how to lose. Right now, Walter can cut the lead of Brian Voss's down. In fact, he can retake it with a strike by one pin.
6-10 on the left lane.
Uncharacteristic of Walter Ray. He wants to get it all, and he lifts on this ball too quickly. He snaps his wrist under the ball too quickly, gets out in that dry zone, snaps high, leaves the 3-6 spare. He'll go across lane. If he makes a spare, he'll trail by 11 through 7 frames.
Good goodness. Okay. Now Voss leads by 23. Inside the Erie Art Museum, you'll discover a colorful exhibit titled Cheese Pods, Cultural Warriors of New Mexico. The works are linked to the 400-year tradition of arts in Hispanic Mexico. Isn't a bad seat in the house, is there, for this lady? Look at those happy Erie, Pennsylvania fans jammed into Civic Center.
And here's the shot that put Walter Ray in arrears by 23. He's shooting for the 3-6 and just misses it by almost an eighth of an inch or so. And right now he's trailing by 23. The gauntlet is in the hands of Brian Voss. Last week I chastised him a little bit, Chris. He looked a little nonchalant out there in the championship round, and he actually said, "Bo, thank you." He woke me up, and right now he is an awakened giant. He can extend his lead to 33. This is the semifinal game.
Yes, we were seatmates flying from Hartford to Atlanta, and the whole trip was, doggone it, why did they do it? Why didn't they do better?
Wow, that shot there, he just locked and loaded, and Walter knows he's in trouble. Walter also knows that that's Brian Voss. It's just not another player. He's in trouble.
Come on, baby. Time here. Come on.
To go to the finals.
What a terrific break Brian gets here as he trips out the 2-8 with the head pin. Walter still has a chance, but he must throw strikes.
There's a man with 14 titles, has 18 second place finishes. After he won his previous game, Bo, he looked over here and asked him how it was, hand signals, and he pointed to his brow. It was terribly hot out there, and he isn't perspiring as heavily as he usually does.
Well, actually, Walter's in excellent shape. He warms up in the morning with 50 push-ups, but right now he must have a strike to stay in the match.
Yes, next week we head to the Detroit area for one of bowling's biggest events on the tour. And it's the second jewel in bowling's Triple Crown, the United States Open. Next Saturday at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and on the West Coast at 1:30 Pacific time, right here on ABC.
For Brian Voss to slam the door on #1 player in the world, Walter Ray Williams Jr., he needs just 2 marks. 2 marks will shut the door. He'll be in the 240s. The best Walter can do is in the 230s. Here we go, 9th frame.
This match will pick up a check for $12,000, and if it's Walter Ray, it adds to his $86,000 that he's won already. Last year, $296,000, and Brian's has a total of $15,000 thus far this year.
Walter knows his final fate today, but he has a mutual respect between these two players, and he gave Brian a little high five there when he got that strike in the night.
A 7.
Going to be enough. That's a lock victory for Brian Voss. The Sperry will be in the 250s. Walter can still finish with a respectable 235. Top line action.
Well, from a 4th last week, it'll be either 1st or 2nd this week in the Spitfire Spark Plug Open.
As a pro bowler, Chris, I'm proud to have these two guys represent us. Not that there's some great ones, but these are some of the greatest that have ever been out there, and they're true gentlemen on and off the lanes. .255 for Voss.
There he is. He'll go against Dennis Horan as the This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC station. Gleaming specially installed lanes here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Brad Snell defeated Dave Arnold in the first match, 235 to 195. In steps Walter Ray Williams Jr. defeating Snell, 248 to 211. Then the heavyweights moved in. Brian Voss taking the measure of Walter Ray Williams Jr., 255 to 214, earning the right to go into the final match of the Split Fire Sparkplug Open against Dennis Horan. What an exciting setting here in Erie, Pennsylvania today. This is the commissioner of the Professional Bowlers Association. It's really refreshing.
This is fantastic, Chris. First time in 20-some years. We ought to do it every week.
I agree with you. Have any good news today?
We do have good news. ABC Television and the PBA have just concluded negotiations. We're going to be on the air for the 34th consecutive year in 1995 with Professional Bowlers Tour. The first stop will be the AC Doco Classic, January 14th, 1995 at Lakewood, California. We're looking forward to being back on ABC.
Wonderful news. And 3 to go on this tour, and none more unique than the one we're experiencing here today. So to the mayor, Joyce Savacchio, to the Civic Center folks, our lighting people, led by Artie Beckel, have they done a job or not? Les Weiss and everybody.
And the fans of Erie. They're great.
Fans of Erie. Okay.
Good championship match coming up, Chris. It's Brian Voss, who has got the winning twinkle in his eye, going against Dennis Horan, who I do not think wants to be denied. We're ready for action. Voss, the lower finisher in the tournament, starts the match. Dennis Horan wants to finish first on the left-hand line.
Okay. Brian Voss. Now we get acquainted with Dennis Horan of San Diego, California. Grew up in San Jose in the northern part. His best thus far this year was 10th in the Johnny Petraglia. And the newly installed championship pair are kind to this left-hander.
Boy, he just starts with a beautiful opening shot. He has a nice arm swing. He's a good inside player, and he plays a pretty wide hook. Watch how he kind of wraps the ball behind his back, which is fine if you're going to give it plenty of room. He comes back inside out, makes an excellent first shot, stays down with it, stays with the ball. Perfection at the back end. Look at that. Only one round out of the 42 games, and that was the third round of qualifying, was he out of the lead. Night he showed his mettle in the championship game, the 42nd game. He had to perform, and he did it. He looked very confident, and opening against Voss with a double is an excellent start for Dennis Horan, our tournament leader. Now the beef.
Dennis Horan shielding his eyes. He wanted no part of that view, which tied up the championship match.
The tournament leader, 4 wins, 6 losses this year in 10 match play competitions. Voss already qualified for the General Tire Tournament Champion Series 3 weeks from today. Horan trying to win his first.
Sneak a peek at the last moment, and what he saw was Brian Voss's 3-bagger.
Well, Voss's best asset is his physical strength, and there he proved it. He kind of muscled the ball into the 1-3 pocket and got a break tripping out the 4 and 9. Now here's more of a finesse player, Dennis Horan, as you see the 25-second clock ticking off.
Mm-hmm. face of Brian Voss. This is a non-winner, and Dennis Horan, yet he's 16 regional titles.
Dennis Horan, he locks and loads, gets a good explosion point, and then nothing but pin shrapnel left.
Perfection in the championship game of the Spitfire Sparkplug Open in Erie. A break and then we'll resume. Supervising a lot of work as manager of the Erie Civic Center was this man, Casey Wells. Backing Brian Voss. Brian Voss, who is trailing by 10. He has 3 strikes. His opponent, Dennis Horan, has 4.
Well, Brian's got control over the orchestra. Let's see if he can keep control over his bowling ball, as both players have perfect in the championship match. Voss starting with 3 in a row, tournament leader Dennis Horan with 4 in a row. This to stay even. You know, when a great player gets a strike, it's not necessarily a 100% shot. They keep it in play, they get it around the pocket. On that particular shot, Voss under control just caught it all. Nothing can stand. That was perfection from the time it left his hand to the final result. They're all even through 4 frames.
Shooting in the 5th frame. 28-year-old Dennis Horan, whose wife Terry is here, and his mom and dad, Clara and Dennis. Strikes in the title game. There is Terry, Dennis's wife, and Mom and Pop, who sponsor Dennis on tour. You get a look at them. Happy Easter or holiday. Great time of the year. Spring is sprung in Erie.
Professional Bowlers Tour is the greatest training ground for bowling in the world, and these players are proving it as Brian Voss takes the 14-foot approach. Hopefully that shoelace won't get caught under his foot.
Look out, True Value. We're on the way to 2 perfect games, but we've only reached the halfway point. Should they? $100,000 to each and a roll-off. A 7-pin.
Just a little wide. The 4-pin just taps the 7. Not enough impetus to knock it over. Concentrate on that spare, Dennis. You're still in the match, bud.
Exhale. Get a breather now. Just between shots as Brian Voss moves over the right side. Brian taking his ball in hand, Bo, and going to work.
Probably going to check the tape, move something out. He's going to sand some of the finger holes, get a little more lift on the ball. He might have had it slip out of it just a little bit. The great feel is so important.
Frame, Brian Voss. Two lonely pins, a 7 for Horan, a 9 for Voss. And now the battle is on for the split fire spark plug open.
Voss just catches it all on the right-hand lane. The ball just overpowers the pins. Actually almost left a 7-9 split on apparently a good shot. Has to hang in there with the 9-pin. The match is even.
I'm glad there was some paint on that bowling pin. That was pretty close.
Well, the players haven't shot many spares today, and obviously spares are not going to win this match, but you got to fill the frames. Scoreboard tells the story. If both players strike out, they'll tie at 279.
This man for his 14th title. He's seen that one before today. 210.
He's checking the big scoreboard, gigantic scoreboard here in the building, and he's trying to see what he has to do, and he has to go for it in the striking climate. Get the ball to the left of the 2-pin, let it slide over into the 10-pin. He must go for the split. You cannot depend on Dennis Horan making a mistake.
Appreciation to Brian, who went all out.
There's the scoreboard as everybody sees it in the auditorium. The underdog, Dennis Horan, who dominated this field at Eastway Lanes about 10 miles away before coming into the auditorium, now could take his own first title with some strikes.
Foundation night. There's a difference of 19,000 being first or second. 39 and 20 for Dennis, though, if he can, after 9 years, be his first. Mom and Dad,
they know the score. Dennis is on the threshold of winning his first title. He has to perform in the 10th. There's not lockjaws. Brian Voss could still shoot 256. Horan has to fill 17 in the 10th. Here we go.
Champions in 3 weeks. He'll be there. Brian, of course, will too. But for this today, there it is.
He'll be 267. Bress Voss can get his 256. Good match. What a great victory. What a nice compliment paid to Dennis Horan by Brian Voss. Good match. He knew he was out-bowled in that particular game.
And Brian will be there next week. He went from 4th last week to 2nd today. And he's finishing it out But it was a big, whopping 267 in Erie for Dennis Horan from San Diego. We'll be back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is Dennis Horan. Spitfire Sparkplug Open champion, his first. 39,000. Brian Voss 20. And so on down the line. From San Diego, congratulations, Mr. Horan.
Thanks, Chris. This is like the biggest moment of my life, and I'd like to thank Splitfire Spark Plugs for their sponsorship of this event, AMF for setting these lanes up for us, and Erie, Pennsylvania for coming out and supporting the PBA.
And I know you'll want to say Nancy and George Warren.
Especially George and Nancy for having the insight to do this.
Here comes Terry. Look out.
Oh, Terry.
I have a kiss or two while I go away. So I'm going up to Nelson Burton Jr. and Maria Sansone. Here they are with Brian Voss.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Brian Voss, your reflection on the match and the crowd here.
Well, first of all, I got to thank the crowd here. They're some just wonderful bowling fans, but I didn't lose this. I really got beat. Dennis Horan just bowled a great game, and you know, what can you do? It was an exciting match, and I'm sure the people here just really loved it.
Well, thank you, Brian. You're a great champion. Maria, your reflection on today's action.
It was a lot of fun for me, and also for the people in Erie and everyone watching. It was a great match.
Keep up your bowling. They say you have potential, too. Back to you, Chris.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, Splitfire is successful because of talented youth like Jerry Riccione. Can't believe him, but he has a check, and he's going to make you a happy couple. Jerry, my boy.
Hold on here. Here you go. I think it's very fitting that Dennis is the winner of this event, being it's his first-time victory. It's our first sponsorship for the Splitfire Open, and we plan on being back next year, and just the best of luck. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, so you saw where that money came from, right? Over here to my left, George and Nancy, we congratulate you for taking this big gamble. I don't have much time. Thank you.
Hey, it's just great to do part of this.
Thanks.
We have 15 seconds. My gosh, Rick Jager, you deserve an hour.
I'll take it.
Vice President of Marketing, and I'm a fan of yours, and you have a trophy. Quick.
Yes, congratulations. Here you go. Take it. We love Erie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Erie is the best. Yeah.
They're standing now, and rightfully so. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy and George. Thank you all for Maria Sansone, Nelson Burton Jr., and our entire production crew. I'm Chris Schenkel, thanking you. We'll see you in Troy for the U.S. Open 1 week from today. Thanks a lot, Split.